School is almost out, or actually out, for many schools in the area, and that means a lot of seniors, they're off to college in the fall. However, if you still aren't sure where your future is pulling you or where your child's future is pulling them, our next guest is here for you. Joining us now, we have Professor Tim Dudley with the University of Minnesota Crookston. Good morning, Tim. How's it going up north?
Good, very well, thank you.
And so first off, I just want to start with, you have recently been awarded a UMN award. Can you just kind of explain what that award is and, the amazing work you did to earn it?
The award is the University of Minnesota Morse Teaching Award. It's an award that's given out to faculty for outstanding contributions to undergraduate education. They give 7 or 8 of these out within the whole system, so most of the awards go to the Twin Cities faculty just because of the enormous number of faculty they have, but fortunately they do give out some of these awards to faculty on the system campuses, and so I was fortunate enough to receive one on the Crookston campus. It essentially just recognizes faculty for their work in the classroom, but also their work as an advisor and their work as doing research with undergraduate students. And so I was engaged in all of those capacities, and so I felt very fortunate to be able to teach these students and appreciate what they've done for me, and I guess they appreciate what I've done for them, and I was fortunate enough to receive this award.
And so what are you teaching there at the university? You're a professor of what courses would a student have you for?
Chemistry. So I teach the general chemistry sequence, first year chemistry sequence, and then again I do undergraduate research, and sometimes I teach some analytical chemistry.
So what research are we working on right now? Do you have any current things going on in the books there?
Sure. I have a couple of projects. My training is actually as a computational chemist, so I do a lot of computer modeling of known and unknown compounds, trying to understand their properties, also trying to understand how certain reactions work. So that's all computer modeling. I like to focus on metal compounds. These are compounds that are often used as catalysts. And catalysts are used for things like converting oil or petroleum products into plastics and other compounds that are of use to society. I've also, since coming to UMC, have been engaged in some experimental work. We have a project that's a joint project with chemistry and biology faculty where we're studying freshwater sponges in Minnesota, trying to understand their importance in the ecosystem. And I'm working on some of the chemical analysis of those sponges and their environments.
And so from what I understand, students there can also have some research opportunities. Just kind of talk about what that would look like for a student looking to do some hands-on work there.
Yeah, great. The sponge project's an excellent example of a project that we designed explicitly for the use of undergraduates because we don't have graduate students. And so these students for this freshwater sponge project can go out into the field, collect sponges. They can come back to the lab, analyze the sponges biologically, so looking at some of the genetics. We do some of the chemical analysis, so we might try to see what are these sponges kind of soaking up, if there's anything in the water that they're soaking up. We'll study the water that these sponges are kind of living in. And so it was a great project for undergraduates because the techniques are pretty straightforward. There's some interesting stuff to learn. And that's always what a research project is designed to do, is to learn things. But when we do projects with undergraduates, we want them to get that hands-on experience, which they absolutely will get at UMC. But we also like to focus on the learning. Students are learning new techniques, they're learning methods, and we want them to get that experience so that they can maybe go out into the real world and apply those.
And so everyone also talks about the tight-knit community that Crookston has because of all the relationships that form there between students, faculty, staff. Can you just kind of talk about the overall feel of campus and what students get out of that? Absolutely.
So again, a good example is I have students that are in my general chemistry class. I teach them in the lecture and I teach them in the lab, so we get some hands-on work together. I might advise some of these students, so I see them and talk to them about their future goals, getting their classes so that they can graduate, but also talk about what they want to do in the future. These research projects are another opportunity for these students. So I might have a student who works with me in the lab, and so we get to do some real scientific research and work together. And that's pretty typical, I think, at UMC. We wear many hats, and our students are engaged in all those activities, learning, advising, research. And even on Crookston campus, we as faculty also like to get involved in some of the extracurriculars. So for example, it's very typical to see faculty at these sporting events. Crookston has a very large student athlete population, and so you might find me or my colleagues at a baseball game or a soccer match cheering on our students. We also get engaged in the clubs. There's a lot of clubs here at UMC, and faculty are often involved, and so the students engage with us kind of on our territory where we in academics, but we as faculty also like to engage them in these extracurriculars, and I think that makes it a very tight-knit community, and that's true for whether you're in the sciences or you're in the arts, business, ag. It's pretty typical here.
All of the great things that they have to offer. All right, Tim Dudley, a professor of chemistry, our periodic table expert here this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up on today's show, we'll have your daily dose of motivation. Stick around.